Welcome back to the Talk Tonight. The GOP party in Syracuse will not put forth a candidate to run against Democratic incumbent Stephanie Miner in the mayoral race. Tom Dady made this announcement this morning after a strong effort to find someone, to find the right person to fill this seat, and a lot of discussion about even whether Pat Hogan, who had run in the Democratic primary, might flip parties and be the mayoral candidate. But here we are, we have an answer, and probably pretty productive, I would say, too, that to have the answer almost 2 months before the general election, so things can play out and people aren't wondering what this is. Well, Tom Dady stopped in tonight to talk about this tonight. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
How did this all unfold? You know, what were the last couple weeks like as you tried to come up with the right person?
Well, we've spent a lot of time and effort trying to find the right candidate for mayor. We talked to our current elected officials in the city, both Senator DeFrancisco and Ryan McMahon, who's chairman of the legislature. They're on our bench, so to speak. And neither one of them were interested in running for mayor. We have talked to a number of other individuals for whatever reason, whether it was their family consideration, their career consideration, the enrollment disadvantage that we face in the city, 3-to-1, or the toughness of running against a well-funded incumbent.
When you look at that ideal candidate, are they out there? Because one of the things that we talked about a couple of weeks ago here in the talk was, do we need to do away with this residency requirement? Is there a candidate out there maybe in Onondaga County?
There probably is. There probably is somebody within the county that would fit the mold. There's a number of considerations. I mean, first of all, you have to be electable. You have to be able to raise the money. You have to have the background and the experience to govern once you get elected. And unfortunately, we didn't have a serious candidate to run for mayor this year. And the election is 7 weeks from tomorrow. There was no point in dragging this out any further. We survived a court challenge from the Democrat Party to challenge our ballot line. We did everything we could legally within the confines of the election law to wait and see if we could find that candidate to come forward, and that candidate has not come forward.
A lot of the problems you've described so far, though, have been about attracting a candidate from any party to run for office these days. What about specifically for the Republican Party within the city limits? That seems to be an extra challenge right now.
It is. The last time I think a Republican won citywide was late 90s when Joni Mahoney was elected to the Common Council. I think Judge Mayoral was reelected since then, but he was an incumbent city court judge.
And Roy Bernardi was mayor for a couple terms.
Roy Bernardi was mayor for 8 terms. It's a challenge for us in the city of Syracuse. We currently don't hold any seats. We don't have a seat on the Common Council. We don't have a seat on the Board of Education. We don't have the auditor's office. So our goal, you know, politics is a little bit like baseball. You know, there's always a season, and there's a new season coming. And I'm very encouraged by some of the candidates that we have running for office. We have some very good young candidates running. We have Romano Lavalas running for city court judge. We have Joe Carney running for the first Common Council. We have a good young guy in Alex Walsh running for Pat Hogan's seat that he's term limited out. We have Ernest Morrill running, and we have Ed McLaughlin, who was on the Board of Education, running for at-large and our Board of Education seat. So we have some good candidates running this year. We need to get some of those folks elected, and we need to build on that so we can have a farm team or a bench so we can win races in the city in future years.
Do you start having these conversations now or relatively soon as you look ahead to the next mayoral race? This one hasn't even occurred. That's in November. But do you really have to start sort of forging those relationships and, like you said, sort of building these candidates up now?
Absolutely. We've actually, some of the conversations that we've had over the last year with different individuals, I believe that those weren't wasted conversations. They will turn into possibly future candidates for office, whether it's state senate, state assembly, county ledge, city council, hopefully a mayoral candidate. You know, the timing is everything in politics, and the timing was not right for some of those candidates to run. 4 years, maybe a different story.
What, though, does this mean, I'm sorry, for the democratic process, though? Because voters are not going really to have much of a choice, it seems, this year. We do know that there is a Green Party candidate out there, someone who's going to be running on the Conservative Party line, but not from one of the major parties.
It's unfortunate, and it's not just the mayor's race where we have that problem. We see races throughout the county go uncontested all the time. Our countywide races have done that the last several elections. It's unfortunate because the voters deserve that discussion and deserve that debate on the issues facing us and where we're going as a community in the future. It's unfortunate that we don't have a candidate. there's a lot of tough issues facing the city of Syracuse, whether it's the increase in crime, whether it's the city's financial problem. We deserve to have a debate on how to fix the public education system in this community. And the bigger issue is everybody talks about the taxes and the onerous layers of government in this community. It's probably time, it's past time to have some sort of metropolitan government in this community.
Consolidation
to consolidate
of Onondaga County and Syracuse.
It's time to do that because we can't continue to go the way that we're going. I think the financial pressures that the city is going to face is going to force that. It's going to force that in the coming years.
So perhaps 81 comes down and then Syracuse and Onondaga County sort of meld together.
That's a whole nother issue. That's
a whole nother talk.
We might need 5 more minutes to get into that. But Tom Dady, thanks for coming and explaining that today. We'll have you in again soon.
Absolutely.
Our conversation continues in a moment.